Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Tank. I'm Fish, and today I thought we'd check out one of the mechanics in Minion Masters, Accursed Ascension. So let's have a look at how this works, how you achieve it, and what it gives you. Now, Accursed Ascension was added a long time ago in version 1.0, even before Morelia was added. So, Accursed, of course, is a faction. So if you have a look at a card, you can see in the blue text here, Accursed, and that is the faction. Other factions include Slither and Outlander, etc, etc. But we're talking about Accursed today. So, if you go to your deck building and type Accursed, you will see all of your Accursed cards. Okay, so Accursed Ascension, what is it? Well, effectively, Accursed Ascension is you have to collect 80 Spectral Essences. And if we go into a card that has Accursed Ascension, it says here, spend 80 mana on Accursed cards, which isn't quite 100% correct, but it's close enough. Okay, so 1 mana equals 1 Spectral Essence, and you need 80 Spectral Essences to achieve Accursed Ascension. So basically, there's two parts of the game. The early part of the game before you've reached Accursed Ascension, and then you hit Accursed Ascension, and then the rest of the game is post Accursed Ascension. And there is a good reason to hit it. But before we talk about why you can get it, let's talk about how you can speed it up. So as this says here, you need to spend 80 mana on Accursed cards, but you can speed that process up in a couple of ways. So for example, if we look at the Haunting Hugger, every time the Hugger gets a kill, you get 1 progress towards your Accursed Ascension, so 1 Spectral Essence. So if this guy kills a load of little things very quickly, he can really speed up your progress towards the Accursed Ascension. Also, we have Harmful Souls. So Harmful Souls also gives you 1 progress towards Accursed Ascension for every soul left at the end of the duration. So remember, it drops 5 souls, so if they're not all used, whatever's left over helps you get towards your Accursed Ascension progress. So again, that can speed things up. And then also, finally, Nirvir the Fallen. So Nirvir the Fallen might need a whole video on its own about how it works, but basically it starts off in your hand as this in your deck as this Nirvir Slumbers card, and it doesn't change into Nirvir until you've reached Accursed Ascension. But anyway, this Nirvir Slumbers card is a ranged removal spell, and every time it kills something, you get 1 Accursed Ascension progress. So it kills up to 2 things. So the idea is that if you're using this as a removal spell and speeding up your Accursed Ascension progress, then that is great. Okay, so that's what you do. So basically, Accursed Ascension is 80 Spectral Essences. You get 1 Spectral Essence for every mana spent on Accursed cards. That's why you generally see Accursed decks full of only Accursed cards. You get extra credit from the Haunting Hugger, from Harmful Souls, and from Nirvir. Now, back in the day, Accursed Ascension was far, far more complicated. It was simplified. Hopefully, you can understand it better now, especially if you're new players, how it works. Okay, so that's Accursed Ascension and how we achieve it. But why do we want to achieve it? Well, what happens when you reach Accursed Ascension is certain cards have a trigger where they get more powerful once you've reached Accursed Ascension. So if we type Accursed Ascension in here, we'll type some of it because I don't really know how to spell the rest of it. This should show us all the cards that interact with Accursed Ascension. Not necessarily that all have a trigger, but things that interact with it. So that the Hugger doesn't have a trigger, but it does interact with it. Okay, so let's have a look at the Skeleton Crew. So a Skeleton Crew is a 2 mana, 2 skeleton card, but once you've reached Accursed Ascension, it summons 3 more. So early, it is very weak, 2 mana for 2 little skeletons, but late game, 2 mana for 5 skeletons. Additionally, we have the Spirit Infusion. So this spell gives you 3 random spirits, but after Accursed Ascension, it gives you 5 spirits. Unholy Ground. So when you've reached Accursed Ascension, the duration of the spell is increased by 3 seconds, and it summons 3 more skeletons. Our harmful souls, again. This is a removal spell that gets empowered at Accursed Ascension. So you get 3 extra souls. So instead of 5, you get 8 souls, doing 80 damage each. That's a lot of damage. Toll of the Dead. So once you reach Accursed Ascension, all of the remains that were left from this card previous in the game, so that's the kind of the dark green circly things, they are converted into the remains, and they will resurrect one final time. And then again, going forward, after Accursed Ascension, every time you play this, you'll have a skeleton. It will die, and res one final time. We also have Nirvir's Breath. So Nirvir's Breath, it's kind of underwhelming until you get to Accursed Ascension, then it's very strong. So it does 130 damage pre-Ascension, and 260 damage, and summons 8 skeletons post-Ascension. And of course, the final thing that we need to mention is Nirvir the Fallen. So as we spoke about earlier, Nirvir starts as the Slumbers card in your hand. Once you've reached Accursed Ascension, you need to cycle that card one more time, so then it can be replaced by Nirvir the Fallen. And then that's where you get the dragon. And also remember, so you get the dragon, then the next time you get the card, it's the Slumbers, and then the next time it's the dragon. So it repeats that 2-cycle process going forward. So that shows you that there's a lot of Accursed cards that get empowered. And generally what you find with Accursed decks is they're weaker early on, but late game, they're very strong. That's kind of how you would expect the mechanic to work. Now, the other thing that we would be remiss to mention is Morelia. Morelia, of course, you tend to find Morelia as the Accursed Master. Why is that? Well, she does, of course, have that faction link, but she does also have the Accursed Ascension link. Her perk 3 dragon, the Queen's Dragon, it comes with Nirvir's Breath, and Nirvir's Breath, as we saw here, is empowered by Ascension. So her perk 3 dragon with the breath, if you've reached Ascension, will give you that Ascension breath. So that's an overview of the Accursed Ascension. We'll just have a look at a couple of things in a game, just to give you, to highlight some of the things you should be looking at.
Let's go.
So you'll see here we have our Spectral Essence counter. So we've got to collect 80 of these to get the Accursed Ascension. So remember, if we spawn an Accursed card, for example this 4 mana Curse Bearer, we get 4 Spectral Essences. And so on and so forth. Now remember, we can boost that counter by using the Hugger, the Nirvir Slumbers. So you see here the Nirvir Slumbers, get a couple of kills, boosts our Spectral Essence score. So we're up to 15 already, and remember we need to get to 80. Also, we have this little graphic beside our master with the souls, the Spectral Essences that we have collected, just spinning around there. And what you'll see is once we get to Accursed Ascension, there'll be a loud trigger noise, and this will turn very bright green to give you an illustration of the fact that Ascension has been reached. And your cards that are empowered by Accursed Ascension, they will also have a yellow highlight around them, so you know it's go time. That's pretty much all I wanted to show. And just like that, that's our Accursed Ascension explained. So hopefully now you should know what it is, how you can get it, how you can speed it up, and how it can empower certain cards. If you've got any questions, as always, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them and to help you out. And of course, if there's other cards, mechanics, anything like that you want explained, again, let me know in the comments so that I can see what is the most popular request, and we can look at making some more videos. And that's pretty much it. If you've been enjoying the content here in the fish tank and you want to keep up to date on all Minion Masters news, make sure you hit that sub button. And that is all for me today. I'm Bad as a Fish, and as always, this is an Awkward Wave.